That's
It appears Mitch McConnell is still not okay. He froze up once again during a press conference. This after just a month ago, he did the exact same thing. And I'm going to get to the clip here in a second. This is from WLWT. So he's at a media gaggle in Covington. This is posted by Hannah Thomas on Twitter. Check out the question that he is asked right before he freezes.
what are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026? All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator. Benny.
okay.
Somebody else have a question? Please speak up.
It's hard to know what to say there. He's asked about re-election. I mean, are we really going to talk about re-election for Mitch McConnell at this point? I'm going to get to the previous freezing episode and some other health examples in a second, as well as some of his history, because it's important here. And the reason I'm going to bring up his history, or not just his history, but what he's been doing recently and his impact on society, is because I find myself empathizing with him, which is, I shouldn't, but I'm a human being. Seeing a man in a situation like this go through this kind of health problem, I understand how the terrible impact he's had on society. I don't want to feel empathy for him, but anyone in that position, anyone who's that age, it's hard for me to divorce myself from my human need to want people to not suffer. But which is why I'm also going to bring up his history here, because I can't just keep this. This can't just be a video about empathizing for Mitch McConnell. But it's clearly something serious here. He cannot remain in this position. And this isn't even really about age. Mitch McConnell's 81. He's actually a year younger than Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders has none of these health issues. He had, of course, while he was running back in 2020, he had a heart issue, but that was fixed. When you see Bernie, in media appearances in public on, doing speeches, he is as great as ever. So it's not about age specifically. But when it comes to what Mitch McConnell is going through, or someone like Dianne Feinstein on the Democratic side, these are individuals these are public servants. That's what their job is supposed to be. You can't have someone like that who is supposed to be serving the public. You can't have them in a position like that when they are in the state that they are in. Now, let's get to just, I guess, a reminder what happened last time. This happened July 26th, so almost exactly a month ago. Basically the exact same thing happened to him. Let me just briefly show you a bit of that.
And a string of
Wait a minute. Are you good?
okay, Mitch.
So after that happened, there was some speculation that maybe he missed his medication, or I don't know. Obviously he's not gonna tell us what the problem is. But now that this is a pattern, I mean, it was already serious. Now it's even more serious. And you combine that with previous health episodes. This is from NBC News back after that example. They discussed how he recently fell at the DC airport. So more on that. The fall, which has not been previously reported, occurred July 14th after the flight out of Washington was canceled while everyone was on board. McConnell apparently face planted. And then there's also more. So he sustained a concussion and a cracked rib in a fall in Washington this year, and he spent 6 weeks away from the Senate. He fractured his shoulder in a fall in Kentucky in 2019, requiring surgery. So there's been various falls. Now 2 prominent episodes where he's just freezing up completely. He can't remain in that position, right? Then again, we see Dianne Feinstein being wheeled around. It is, I don't know. It's remarkable to me what is allowed to go on. Again, this, if this is some like random CEO, that would be an issue for them to deal with. But these are public servants, so they're supposed to be answering to the public. You can't possibly remain in this position. Some history here. So Mitch McConnell has greatly damaged U.S. democracy, and largely with, as they write here, The Guardian, quiet chess-like moves. So some recent examples, the prominent ones, of course, is the Supreme Court. Mitch McConnell single-handedly stole a Supreme Court seat from Barack Obama, leading to the major conservative majority we see right now. And of course, you have decisions because of that. Just a few examples from the past couple of years. So this year, Supreme Court killed Joe Biden's $400 billion plan to cancel or reduce federal student loan debt. They ended, as well, affirmative action, and they issued a major decision that impacts gay rights in terms of the ability to discriminate against gay couples. In that case, there's also the year before, of course, the big one, striking down abortion rights. And not to mention countless others, but, I could be here forever. That's Mitch McConnell's impact. So it's important to be mindful of this, while at the same time, I think it's fine to feel bad for somebody who's old going through health problems. I'm sorry. Don't attack me for, I don't necessarily, look, it's the internet's wild now, because if you feel like if you have any human inclination at all towards someone who's a terrible person, all of a sudden you're also a terrible person. I'm sorry. That's how I am. I can't help it to naturally feel bad for someone who's old going through a health episode. That doesn't mean we have to obscure their history, their impact, who they are, what they've done. So I think it's important to keep those two things separate. And I think we're going to continue seeing a discussion about Mitch McConnell. Is he going to stay in this role? Can he really stay in the Senate? I guess we're going to have to see if there's any pressure put on him at all to leave.